This is 93.5 CHMR FM.
You're listening to 93.5 CHMR FM, and this is the Aperture, a weekly long... I always say weekly long. It's a weekly hour-long discussion of all topics geek culture. I'm one of your hosts, Rory DC.
And I'm Adam, the Oatmeal Knight.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's from me and Adam, one of our Dungeons and Dragons campaigns.
Nerd!
If they didn't think we were nerds already, they certainly do now.
Yes.
Adam, I believe you have some news to go over before we start.
Yeah, so before we get going, I just want to say today's show is going to be about the Xbox and the big Xbox Microsoft press conference that was held on Tuesday. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before we do that, just a couple of bits of news. Not much happened today besides the massive Xbox announcement. So the first one is EA will no longer be making games to the Wii U, despite heavy connection to the Nintendo with Nintendo at launch. However, EA said they might work on games in the future, but they have no plans now. And that will be, I think, the reason for this will become relevant when we get into the Xbox One, but I don't want to get into that now.
Fair enough.
In addition, other news from Nintendo, it has become partners with YouTube and will be making revenue from all uploads featuring content from its games. This includes Let's Plays and online walkthroughs. And they're doing so through the use of a content ID match, which will look for uploads featuring Nintendo content and place advertisements within videos in order to generate revenue. However, this comes at a cost as it eliminates the ability for the original uploader to profit from ads he or she has placed on the video. As you can imagine, this has angered many YouTube personalities to the point where they refuse to play any Nintendo games. This is big news because a lot of the people that me and Rory watch online, they're Let's Players. And so this basically eliminates one console that they can get money and ads from. This has angered a lot of people, understandably so.
Yeah.
There's no word yet to see if any other personalities are going to follow suit or what have you. I think there needs to be some sort of happy ground between what Nintendo's doing and say what some movie companies are doing, where they completely block all rights unless they publish them themselves. There needs to be some happy medium.
Yeah, no, I see that.
Yahoo bought Tumblr for $1.1 billion this week. I thought that was kind of interesting. And two new cartoon movies about superheroes are coming out. Or one's a movie, one's a show. There's a cartoon show called about the Avengers called Avengers Assembles, and it seems to be more in line with the 2012 movie. And it is replacing the previous show about the Avengers called Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Additionally, there's a new movie coming out called Justice League Flashpoint, and it's based off the 2011 mini-series crossover event. No word about it yet, except that Flash is going to be the central character. And the only movie to come out this week was the Blue Line animated movie called Epic, which doesn't look very good. So,
oh, dear God.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's it for the news.
Yeah, the movies. Yeah, we've had... Well, actually, you know what? I'm actually I've been really happy so far though with this year in movies.
Oh yeah, because we've had a Great Gatsby, Iron Man, Star Trek,
and I'm actually seeing Star Trek tonight. It took me a very long time.
It's gonna be good
to find time to go out and see it, but it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
that's the hope at least. I'm sort of banking on Adam's recommendation here.
Yeah, no, it's a good movie.
And I love the first one. I mean, I like J.J. Abrams at this point. I feel comfortable with saying that.
What this movie did to me was it makes me more comfortable about the Star Wars movie that he's directing. I think it gives me hope for that one. But anyway, we're not talking about that today.
Yes, today is about the Xbox One announcement, which is called the Xbox One, which I actually like better than all the other names.
Really? I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one, Rory. I thought the Xbox Infinity would have been better.
I would have liked Infinity better if I hadn't. I see Infinity on a lot of things, as a math student. Like every time someone needs a logo for something, it's like Infinity. So I'm tired of Infinity. That's my own personal problem with it. It's not Xbox's fault, but I like Xbox One. I certainly didn't like Durango very much, just because.
Oh well, Durango was awful, but I liked Fusion as well, because to me, Infinity and Fusion kind of represent what the Xbox is trying to do. And this is what the new Xbox is trying to do. The Xbox One is no longer a dedicated games platform. Not that it won't still be playing games, but what it is I'm going to call it a multimedia platform.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if that's the actual term. That's the term I'm coining, so copyright that now.
You didn't coin it.
No?
No.
Okay, well, I'm coining it now. So anytime it gets said, I get 10 cents. So what this means is that the Xbox One is going to be a platform that's dedicated less towards gaming, more towards the the entire entertainment franchise. The phrase they kept spewing at us from the during the press release was it's going to own the living room, or it's going to be the center of your living room. And so what they're doing is they're using the Xbox. So now on the Xbox you can stream live TV, you can surf the internet, you can watch movies, you can listen to music, and you can play games. Basically all of the things that you can do with a TV and your Xbox 360, your PlayStation, and your computer, you can now do on this one system. And they look to be doing a lot of really cool stuff with that. Looks to be an interesting addition alongside your DVD player, your Blu-ray player, and your high definition TV. I think you're gonna see this type of device in homes in the near future. However, very little reference to actual games or any gameplay, and we'll get more into this later on. But can I read out some of the specs for the system?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so the system itself has an 8-core processor CPU, an 8 GB memory system, 500 gigabyte HDD, a Blu-ray drive, which is very interesting. 802 in wireless, 802.11 and wireless with Wi-Fi Direct, HDMI in and out, and a USB 3.0.
Yeah.
That's for the main console itself.
Yeah, and the RAM is really interesting too. They've done some new things with the RAM.
Yeah.
Which I like a lot.
RAM lover.
They're using the DDR3 RAM, which is interesting because as many people know, the new PlayStation is going to be using DDR5 RAM. It's tempting to look at that right away and say, oh, they don't have their game up to spec with the RAM, but that's not actually true. Because they have other RAM dedicated specifically to the gaming. So like separate from your 8 gigs, which is a great addition, and I really like it. It's very smart. That being said, I've seen the specs on both systems now, and they're pretty much the same.
Yeah, they were always going to be the same. It's kind of you're no longer seeing console wars like they were back in the 90s with the bit wars with
exactly.
with Sony with Sega introducing blast processing. And that was actually a thing. So I guess you can say that that Xbox is introducing blast processing. So we'll just go with that. The controller is doing. They've kind of redesigned the controller. It's very, very similar to the old one. It has an integrated battery component, impulse triggers, Wi-Fi direct radios. So it's going to be a wireless controller, precision directional paths. They've redesigned the D-pad, which is nice because the D-pad on the original Xbox controller and the Xbox 360 controller was terrible.
Agreed.
It was an absolute wreck. In fact, the only gaming system that I've ever seen that has a decent D-pad was the Nintendo system, and they no longer have the copyright on that D-pad. So I think that's why it's supposed to be seeing a D-pad closer resembling to the Nintendo one.
Yeah.
Additionally, all Xbox Ones will ship with a Kinect, the redone Kinect, which I did not get for my Xbox because it was completely useless and a waste of my time and money. But this new Kinect has a 1080p HD RG8 camera, a 30 frames per second color display, time of flight technology, and a microphone arrays. I don't know what that means. It's not very specific on the specs I'm looking at here.
I'm remarkably unfamiliar with Kinect.
Yeah. God.
Sorry, people. The co-host from my other program, Conference of Reason, which airs Saturday mornings at 11 a.m.
Plugs.
Walked up and licked the studio glass here, and the reason is because, or pretended to lick it because one time when me and Liam were in here recording an episode of Converse, some dude just walked up and started licking the glass.
That's gross.
It was really creepy. So I'm sorry for the levels there, people. I'm the producer, and I don't control for laughs.
And I jumped out of my skin because all I see out of the corner of my eye is some guy hitting the window and starting licking it.
I like the consoles being similar.
Yeah.
I don't like there to be a huge disparity because that makes it really difficult to code things, because that's what happened with the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
They had such a vastly different architecture that it was really difficult for game developers. They're changing that. We're going to have a break now. Okay. But when we come back, can we talk about used games?
Sure.
Because that sort of ties into what we're doing here.
We'll also talk about the console itself, because we actually get to see it, unlike PlayStation.
No kidding. No, I agree. That was a mistake on PlayStation's part. And so stay tuned for these messages.
After these messages.
My sister is only 19, which means she'll have a hard time getting a job. And if she